It has officially been 2 weeks since Kanye and Ty Dolla $ign dropped their collab album Vultures Volume 1. And if everything is going according to plan, then Volume 2 is allegedly right around the corner. Prior to the first album's release, Ye revealed in a trailer uploaded to Instagram that there was going to be 3 Vultures projects. Now, Kanye just about never releases albums on time, but shockingly for this first Vultures album, he did drop it on the promised February 9th date, and hopefully that's a precedent that him and Ty Dolla $ign follow when it comes to these next 2 Vultures records, with Volume 2 allegedly set to release on March 8th. Now, like I said previously, we're a couple weeks out now from the first album releasing, and it's been pretty well received by the general public, aside from a few pretentious music publications and so-called critics not wanting to give it credit and admit that the album's got some fucking bangers on it because they want to be politically correct. Fuck them. Everyone's fucking with Carnival. And I, personally, really enjoyed the album, still do after a few weeks of listening. But I'm really hyped for these next 2 volumes because there was a lot of tracks that Ye and Ty premiered back in December that didn't end up on Volume 1. You got tracks like River, Slide, Gun to My Head, Take Off Your Dress, Don't Kill the Party, Dead, just to name a few, I can go on and on, that are likely to end up on Vultures 2 and 3. And I'm also excited too to hear the tracks we haven't heard. Now, we honestly don't know too much about Volume 2 at this point in time because Ye and Ty have been really riding the wave of success that has come with the release of Vultures 1. But the unknown nature of this forthcoming project, it's honestly why I'm so excited for it. So without wasting any more time, let's get into what we do know about the second Vultures album, as well as some info we have actually learned over the past couple of weeks about Ye's upcoming solo project, likely coming after the release of the third and final Vultures record. We'll get into that in a little bit. But first, we're starting off with some Volume 2 news, which actually came like the day of Volume 1's release. This insider Alec would come forward on Discord and list off the songs that are currently being worked on for the second Vultures album. I'm going to go ahead and just read these off here. First off, we got Aperol Spritz, City Underground, Dead, Don't Kill the Party, Drunk, Gun to My Head, Lifestyle, Love, 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 Promotion, River, Slide, So-Called Friends, Take Off Your Dress, and Time Moving Slow. We got other news from Alec here from this same info dump, but I do want to talk about this track list before I cover that and just give my general thoughts on it. So first off, Don't Kill the Party is a banger track featuring Tyga. It was heard at the Las Vegas live stream at the hotel or whatever. Don't sleep on that track. Kanye says some goofy shit in his verse. He says like gyat gyat 2000 or whatever the fuck, stupid TikTok bullshit. But like aside from the stupid TikTok terms, his flow is crazy on that one. I'm really excited to hear it. Dead is IG model or whatever with Future and Lil Durk. Ty Dolla $ign's verse on that track, at least as long as they keep it the way it was at the second rave, is fucking stellar. I'm very glad to see Drunk here. That's the track with Kodak Black and the Bad Bunny sample. That should be fucking cool to hear. You also got the, soul healing type of sounds with Gun to My Head featuring Kid Cudi and River featuring Young Thug. And River specifically is just so catchy. Kanye's vocals are fucking beautiful on it. And then you got Take Off Your Dress, formerly known as Diablo, with that awesome soul sample and Kanye rapping his ass off. And then we got Slide, which I think would make for a very good opening track based off that like intro sound. One of the earliest snippets we ever heard from this Vultures era. And I can't wait to hear what James Blake is like on that track, because allegedly he's featured. And then, of course, Time Moving Slow, which is a very, in my opinion, Drake-sounding song that's awesome. Kanye's fucking great on it. There's highlights like that one line where he says, like, got my heart broke, I like that bitch a lot. I'm fucking hyped to hear it. So shit's looking really solid for Volume 2, and I honestly can't see any tracks here that we heard previously that I'm like, where are they? We need that song, bruh. But Alec would also say here that Playboi Carti recorded for lots of other tracks as well during this Vultures era, and expect him on all 3 volumes. So that's fucking hype. Speaking of Carti too, it's right around this point in time that this snippet would start going around with Don Toliver, Carti, and Ty Dolla $ign. Kanye's can't hear him on the snippet, probably didn't fucking record his verse for this track yet, but fans are calling it Venom and holy shit, this song sounds absolutely outstanding. Hope to God it makes it on somebody's album. It's got to. It sounds great. But that snippet and the Trackless news, like I said, really came about like day after Volume 1's release. And at this point in time, Ye and Ty were very much just enjoying the good press and people loving the music. Vultures 1 would go number 1 despite various strange charting issues, specifically with Apple Music. But Kanye is really just at this point in time riding this crazy wave of success. That's the best way to describe it. From having a Super Bowl ad with no production costs, a move that was very highly praised by people in the business world, literally made news in Forbes magazine. But he's got every item on Yeezy.com just $20. The shoes, shirts, pants, all individually very affordable. He's fucking around with the paparazzi at the airport. It's good vibes all around. On the 13th of February, he would officially return to Florence, Italy, a legendary location for this rollout, honestly, as that's where a lot of work was done for the first album, or at least in the lead up to that first album dropping. We see people like Ty, Oz Taylor, etc. heading over there with him, even Playboi Carti being seen with Kanye as well over there. But as everyone's getting situated over in Florence, Kanye would actually put out a very interesting Instagram post on the 14th of February where he would address people like Taylor Swift and Shaq while also mentioning some new music with Volume 2. This was a long ass post. I don't want to call it a rant because I don't really think it was like, I think there's a negative association with that term. But basically Kanye was like the number 1 artist over Taylor Swift. Someone finally fucking took her off her throne. But he put it on his story and all the Swifties got fucking pissed off at him. So he made this post that was like, I'm not your enemy, but I'm not your friend. It's very Kanye. But what was actually interesting to me out of everything in this post was Kanye revealing info about Vultures 2. He would say this: Lil Wayne actually mentions Travis Kelce on Vultures 2. This album is actually super positive and fun. It's all about triumph. Obviously brings up Travis Kelce in relation to Taylor Swift. But that basically confirms that Lifestyle, which is a track that we have previously heard after the Las Vegas rave and the hotel live stream, all that business. We heard this track featuring Lil Wayne and it sounds really good. So we officially got confirmation of one track that will 100% be on Volume 2. And from there, Ye and Ty would announce some overseas Vultures listening experiences or shows. That sounds so fucking weird. Set for February 22nd and February 24th in Milan and Bologna. Now, we didn't know if they were going to play any new music here. They were advertised as Volume 1 listening experiences or whatever the fuck, but we were like, he's got 2 more of these albums on the way. Maybe he'll premiere a new track or 2 at least at one of these shows. Spoiler alert, he didn't. I actually waited to do this video because I wanted to see what happened at the Milan show. And like I said, they just played the same old shit. We'll recap it very briefly in a few moments here. But we're going to transition now into talking about some info we have regarding Kanye's alleged upcoming solo album that will likely release, or we'll hear about it a little bit more from Ye himself following this Vultures trilogy. This producer on Ye's camp put out some pretty interesting tweets on the 17th of February. But before we get into that, we actually have to talk about this interview that happened around the time that Volume 1 was about to drop. It was prior to the official release. This guy, Eric Sermon, who's hip-hop legend, honestly, he said some pretty interesting information in an interview. Now, we've heard previously that Kanye is working on a lot of music right now, various different projects at the same time, from, of course, the Vultures records, but also a Bump J album, Playboi Carti's upcoming album, a James Blake collab album, and of course, we've heard a lot about this alleged solo album from Ye. Now, in this interview, Eric Sermon would actually reveal some pretty interesting information, giving us insight on what Ye's current creative process is in relation to music. He basically said that at first, in 2023, when Ye had his camp together in Japan and everything, they're working on just his solo project, which he reveals is set to be called Y3. Go ahead, here's the clip.
So you've been in with Kanye in the last few months, 6 months?
I started in May 30th doing the first album. Then after I went to Italy, Ty Dolla $ign was there. So they had put something called Vultures together.
Yeah.
Even though I still made the project, that wasn't what I was working on with him.
So you were working on a Ye album.
Y3, yes.
Okay.
So hopefully when this is done, we can get back to
Y3.
The Y3, yes.
So that's pretty interesting. They're learning that when they moved the operation over to Italy, like that was when they really decided, let's do this collab album. That's the goal. But yeah, as he said there, the plan seems to be, you know, finishing the trilogy and then getting back to that, aka back to the solo album work. I don't know if they'll actually go through with the Y3 name. We'll have to wait and see. But from here, I think it's important to document that, because days after Vultures would release is when we would once again hear about this Y3 thing. This time from this producer on Twitter whose username is HellcatBaby4K. Now, I'm not familiar with this guy at all. He is credible, though. He sent in loops and sample ideas to Ye and his camp for Vultures, along with allegedly having credits on King and Fuck Some. I can't say that officially, matter-of-factly, because obviously the credits for the album haven't officially dropped yet. So take this all with a grain of salt. But this guy goes ahead on Twitter on the 14th, Valentine's Day, baby, and he says, "So locked in on Y3, bringing back the soul samples." The next day he would post more about the project and post snippets of the samples they're thinking about using, and the beats, etc. sounded pretty damn great. These are sounds that may end up on the project, likely will not, but it at least gives us an idea as to right now what the sound is for that solo record that Ye is going to want to pursue. There's definitely a market for this sound. I think a lot of people are going to be hype to hear this type of style from Kanye with the soul samples, the classic Kanye. We want the old Kanye, man. They're finally going to fucking get it, so they can all shut up. But this guy would also add real quick here that him and Ye's team, they gave Metro Boomin some crazy soul samples, so that confirms Ye and Metro have been working together in the studio at least recently. We already kind of knew that, but further confirmation. But that is pretty much all we know regarding Kanye's upcoming solo album. And I wouldn't get too excited for it. He seems very laser focused on these Vultures projects, and he's still got 2 to go. But it is cool to know that concepts are being floated around, and the idea has been alive for a fat minute. I'm looking forward to that project because I feel as if Vultures is him having fun, but when he does eventually come out with that next solo album, it'll be more introspective, him addressing his controversies over the past 2 years now in a more serious light rather than just having fun spitting these classic Kanye bars over the club bangers like we're seeing on the Vultures projects. I love this Vultures energy, but for those bitching about Kanye having fun on tracks, the fucking fun police, don't worry, he's coming back soon, okay? Jesus. Alright, but now let's shift back into Vultures news, and we get to talk once again about my boy, JPEG Mafia, as he is once again still working with Kanye. On the 20th of February, he would update his Twitter location to Vultures 2 in Arabic. And following that, as fans picked up on that, he would soon post some pics hours later of himself in Italy. I'm honestly really happy that Peggy working with Ye wasn't like a one-time thing. Like, he didn't just call him out and Kanye's like, fuck it, let's bring this guy in, and then good, we got your pictures, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, he seems like he's going to be a permanent part of the team, and that makes me so fucking happy. He had production credits on a few tracks off Vultures Volume 1, from Beg Forgiveness to Fuck Some, and of course King. But I also want to hear Peggy on a track. I need a feature on Volume 2 or Volume 3, and I hope to God we get to hear that. Now, according to insider Dealey1, who we've talked about for a long time during this rollout, he says that Peggy has recorded for Volume 2, so he's not just doing production shit, but we got to talk about Dealey now and his credibility, because a lot of people not sure how to feel about him. Here's the thing about Dealey. Things got a little bit shaky around the Chicago listening party, because he said there was this track list that leaked that honestly was really similar to the track list we will get when the record actually dropped, and he would say, no, that's fake. It's the long track list that was on North's t-shirt. Chicago listening party happens. He says Jay-Z's going to be there, Playboi Carti, etc. Jay-Z's ass obviously was not the United Center, and the track list that he said was not real ended up being pretty damn legit. So a lot of people have written him off now, but I gotta say this. These insiders, they're telling us what they know. Kanye changes his mind all the fucking time. Like, I don't think this guy has given us a lot of credible information. Like, he provided us lyrics to Don't Die, actually, before we even knew that that track existed or was being worked on whatsoever in this era. So I'm going to choose on this channel to continue to report his info. I stand with Dealey. I'm a Dealey1 supporter. Fuck yeah, baby. Now, you definitely do have to look out for cloud chasers, though, when it comes to providing information like Dealey has over the past couple of months. But on the 22nd of February is where this Milan listening party went down, and like I said, nothing really of note happened. A fan jumped on stage and dabbed up Kanye, and Ty Dolla $ign was ready to knock this motherfucker out. Like, what a friend. Ty Dolla $ign is a real motherfucker, man. But it was promoted as a Volume 1 listening party. All of us got too hype and lied to ourselves and said, maybe he'll play one song. And obviously, he didn't play any new shit. He played older tracks, though. That's kind of dope. He played Runaway. But yeah, they just played Volume 1 tracks. And the Bologna show is actually today, I believe. The day I'm probably going to put out this video. It's also been advertised, same as the Milan show, as a Volume 1 listening experience. So I don't expect any Volume 2 tracks to be premiered. Vultures Volume 2, though, it is set to drop in 2 weeks. That's coming up. And as March 8th creeps closer, I'd imagine Kanye and Ty, they're going to announce a listening event to premiere that album, probably the week of. There's been rumors now that Ye and his crew want to drop a single before Volume 2 releases. The date's coming up. We'll see with time. I don't think that's going to happen, though. We've also heard that new and improved mixes of Volume 1 are on the way as well. It's been teased very much, and there's been no updates since the initial drop. In fact, we've gotten a song taken away from us. Everybody's still not on streaming as well. Some people think that it may end up being released on Volume 2 or Volume 3, but sample clearances are a bitch. A lot of people also have suddenly started hating everybody. I don't know where you motherfuckers came from, but like now it's like a universal thing, like the song sucks, fuck it, we never liked it. Like, you guys are fucking lying. Either way, Ye has been on an absolute roll so far in 2024, from putting out a well-received and successful album with Vultures Volume 1 to finally fulfilling that promise of having affordable Yeezy clothing. If he really follows through and puts out these next 2 albums with Ty, like, this might be one of the greatest years in Kanye's career. Not to mention all of the other work he is doing with Freddie Gibbs, with Playboi Carti, and then allegedly that upcoming solo album. Like, we're fucking up right now. But other than Ye being on French Montana's new album, Mac and Cheese, ridiculous album title. He's got 2 features on the album, though. Check them out. Personally, I think Where They At is a fucking fantastic track with West Side Gun. I love Griselda, bro. But pretty much that's all we know about Vultures Volume 2, as well as some interesting information about Kanye's upcoming solo record. We'll see what happens with that in the coming months. But with Volume 2, we'll see in a matter of weeks. 2 weeks, allegedly, till it drops. I hope to God. I mean, at least I'd imagine we'll have some listening parties going. A lot to be hyped about for Kanye fans. We got a very fun fucking album. Hope everyone's enjoying it. I will obviously be continuing to put videos out on this channel covering Vultures Volume 2 and all the news that goes along with it. Also plan on doing a video pretty soon here about JPEG Mafia's upcoming solo album and what we can expect from that. I know there's a pretty decent crossover between Kanye and Peggy fans, and in general with like everything going on with his fan base right now turning on him, all those fucking like weirdos. Like, I just would like to conjure up some people in his community who aren't like that, like the people who, we love Peggy's music, but we also go outside. But all right, pretty much it for the news. Hope everyone's enjoying Volume 1. I'll see you in the next one.